Toll Road here, and I'm in Canastota, New York, at the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Now ready to knuckle up. Don't get knocked out, kids. Buckle up, buckaroos. You're about ready to take a ride on the toll road. Now you may be asking why Canastota is the home of the International Boxing Hall of Fame. A lot of it deals with their two favorite sons, Carmen Basilia and Billy Backus, both journeyman fighters that rose to the rank of world champions. Carmen Basilia was a world champion at the welterweight and middleweight division, and his nephew, Billy Backus, followed his footsteps and became a world champion in 1970. Here is the paychecks from the fight of the century, Ali versus Frazier, a cool $2.5 million apiece. And this is the actual robe worn by Sugar Ray Leonard in his pro debut on February 5th, 1977. There's boxing gloves worn by Riddick Bowe, by Tony DeMarco, former world welterweight champion. All army jacket worn by Carlos Palomino. And these hand wraps were actually worn by Joe Louis. It's another set. Joe Louis defeated Buddy Bear. Buddy Bear, by the way, is related to Max Bear. Max Bear Jr. who played Jethro on Beverly Hillbillies. These are Tommy the Hitman Hearns boxing shorts. Tommy's probably best known for one of the greatest fights in history against marvelous Marvin Hagler. And here is the infamous Marquess of Queensberry rules of boxing. There's a ticket to the epic fight, Willard versus Dempsey, held in that boxing town of, you guessed it, Toledo, Ohio. Gotta love boxers' nicknames too. James Lights Out Tony. And of course, honored here was the first glove champion, John L. Sullivan, the Boston Strong Boy. Inductees are separated into a lot of different categories, from the pioneers onto the old timers, get back from like the early teens and 20s and 30s, onto your modern boxers. And one thing you can't forget is the non-participants, your referees, your cornermen, your trainers, and that type of stuff. They're honored here as well. Inductee Jim Braddock. Some of you might know him better as the Cinderella Man from the movie made after his story. World champion from 35 to 37. Jack Dempsey was one of the most popular boxers of all time, and was at the first $1 million gate for a match. And the man that actually beat Jack Dempsey twice, Gene Tunney. Look at this boxer closely and see if you see any resemblance to Jethro Bodine from the Beverly Hillbillies. This is his dad, world champion Max Bear Sr. Sugar Ray Leonard was a 1976 gold medal winner and one of the most exciting and endeared boxers of all time. Here's the greatest, Muhammad Ali. Now, I actually was about 100 feet away from him once, but I was too cheap to pay the money to get his autograph. Probably a mistake. Another one of the greatest boxers of all time, Joe Louis. Man defended his title 25 times. And the real Rocky, Rocky Marciano. Man stepped into the ring 49 times, and he won 49 times. Ken Norton was a power puncher that actually broke Muhammad Ali's jaw in a fight. And who can forget George Foreman, I was actually there when he defeated Michael Moore to regain the heavyweight championship at the MGM Grand, Las Vegas, Nevada. I have also grilled hamburgers on his grill. Some cool cast of some of the boxer's fists, and what's regarded to be the biggest fist of all, Primo Carnera. Now, if you had to take your pick, you had to take a punch, would you choose this fist? Would you choose that fist? I definitely don't recommend taking a blow from that big bomber. One of the most highly regarded trainers, Cus D'Amato, probably best known for his last pupil, Iron Mike Tyson. Was always a big fan of this guy, Bert Sugar from Ring Magazine. He epitomized what a boxing beat writer should look like to me. Fedora, check. Cigar, check. Old school typewriter, that's a big check. The man was old school. Man considered by many to be the greatest pound-for-pound fighter of all time, Roy Jones Jr. And these blue boxing gloves belong to a man who's fighting an even bigger battle, Vitaly Klitschko, who is now the mayor of Kiev in the Ukraine. And the sight we all wanted to see, marvelous Marvin Hagler's jockstrap. Unfortunately, they won't let you try it on. Bummer. Another protection piece that I probably could have got by without showing you, but that just doesn't look very comfortable, does it? One of the most flamboyant boxers of all time, Hector Macho Camacho. George Foreman and Michael Moore. Like I said, I was at that fight. And if it wasn't for the one row behind me, I would have had the worst seats in the house. That's what you get for $100 back then. Now, I think this was their first fight. Second one's the one where the fan man flew in the middle of the ring. And I'd be upset if I paid $600 and someone ruined it. Things did not end well for world champion Trevor Berbick in this fight.
Dubbed him the Boston Strong Boy and his fistic holiness, but admirers didn't use those to sugar.
Let's see how I match up to the hands of stone, Roberto Duran's fist. It's showtime!
In 1881, Fox saw to the hand that shook the hand of John Sullivan. It is estimated Sullivan knocked down 400 to 500 men. Yet his fearsome reputation had more to do with his personality than his boxing talent.
The Cincinnati Cobra, Ezzard Charles, still has a street named after him today in Cincinnati. Great champion, knocked 58 people out. And the two men that put on one of the greatest boxing rivalries of all time, Muhammad Ali and his foe, his nemesis, Smoking Joe Frazier. I finished the museum portion of it. I'm going to step over here. There's a gift shop and supposedly an actual ring from Madison Square Gardens. So far, this has highly exceeded expectations. Any boxing fan, this is a must. Let's get ready to rumble!
All the way until 2007. All the great fights at the Garden were right in this ring. Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali, the fight of the century, 1971 was right in this ring. I'll get the TV going, that'll be playing on the big screen there. And those are the original steps. Those are the all the champions used to get in and out of the ring, all the way back to the 1920s. Muhammad Ali walked up those steps 8 times, and that white stand-up will tell you how many times all the other fighters walked up the steps.
Nice.
Gift shop over to the left.
This is just legendary here. The actual ring from Madison Square Gardens. Madison Square Gardens is the epicenter of boxing history. So many fights happen right here in this ring. And the closest person to it right now is probably the world's greatest boxer that's never fought a boxing match, myself. Used to have a system called CompuBox in boxing that was supposed to be state-of-the-art that determined your winner by punches thrown. Yeah, this is that device. And this is the actual clock used at Madison Square Gardens.
We're going to show you once more in slow motion the knockdown. Our camera crews are in love with that big left hook, and they would like us to keep talking while they can go on for the next 28 hours showing the left hook. But I think the whole world has seen it. I want to say that we have once again seen an absolutely great fight between two great fighters and truly two.
That's going to do it for the toll road here at the International Boxing Hall of Fame. And who knows where the toll road will lead to next.